I see there's a lot of people that's got this idea, if I can only get one more property, then I'm sorted. It's going to work. Now, there's a lot of people that think the answer is simple, buy more property. And then they buy another one and they buy another one. And then somehow, somewhere, that is supposed to become financial freedom. But what if more properties is not the answer? What if the real problem is that people are buying more of the same weak strategy? And what if that mistake is costing them years? That's the lesson that I'd like to discuss with you today. Because you do not solve a slow strategy by buying more of the same problem. That is one of the biggest misunderstandings in the property investment. Because most people think that property in its own creates wealth. But property does not automatically create freedom. More property does not automatically create freedom. And owning property is not the same as becoming free. That is a painful truth because many people work hard to get that property. And then they work even harder to get another one and another one. All the while, they assume that they are moving forward simply because the number of properties is increasing. But the wealth creators ask a different question. They do not ask, how many properties do I own? But what is this property actually doing for me? Is it increasing my freedom? Is it improving my growth rate? Is it strengthening the cash flow? Is it giving me more control? Is it working as an investment instrument? That's what they ask. Or is this simply giving me more responsibility without enough return? That's the difference. Because property can make a person look successful while quietly delaying their freedom. And this is why this lesson is important. So the average person look at property emotionally. They look at a house, a title deed, a bond, a growing portfolio, something tangible, something respectable, something that they can brag about. And because it looks impressive, they assume that there must be progress. Because let's face it, my property is worth now more than 10 years ago. So there must be growth. But a wealth creator learns to look deeper. A wealth creator learns to treat property as an investment instrument. Not as a trophy, not as an identity symbol, not as something that you collect blindly, but as an investment instrument. And that instrument is to give you the maximum growth for the least amount of risk. And once you see property as an investment instrument, the question changes completely. Then the question no longer is, do I own property? Now the question becomes, what is this property producing? That changes everything. Because if a property is not producing enough growth and enough cash flow and enough leverage and enough strategic value, then owning more of the same simply multiplies the weakness. And that is what so many people never see. They think scale solves the problem. They think that quantity will solve the problem. But quantity does not fix weak quality. More of a weak strategy is still a weak strategy. It's like you're buying a unit trust that's giving you 10% growth and you need 100%, and now you buy 10 of those. It makes no sense. Exactly the same with real estate. People are buying and it's not giving them that they need, and then they buy more of exactly the same because they don't know how to calculate the growth. And that is one of the reasons that I keep teaching the difference between property ownership and property as an investment instrument, because there's a massive difference between the two. Because the day that you stop seeing property as a possession and you start seeing it as a measured instrument, everything changes. Then you stop asking, how can I buy more property? And you start asking, how can I improve the growth engine? Start always with what you've got. You've got more than enough. The problem is that you've got is not growing the way that it should be. It's not growing fast enough. Use that as an investment instrument. You've got other assets like unit trust and endowment policies and retirement annuities. Those are also properties. We don't see it as property, but if you look at the legal terminology, it's a property. And if that thing is giving you 10 and 12% and your real estate is giving you 15%, but you need 50%, my friend, start with that you've got. How can I improve the growth? That is a wealth creator's question. Now, let me make this even clearer. One property is giving you weak growth and weak cash flow and trapped equity and rising pressure and very little movement towards freedom. Why would more of the same automatically solve the problem? It doesn't make sense, and yet this is what people are doing. It usually multiplies the strain. And that's why I say, you do not solve a slow strategy by buying more of the same problem. What you need is not always more property. What you may need may be a better structure, a better measurement, a better strategy, a better sequencing, a better understanding, and a better growth rate. That is where the wealth creator strategy comes in, because a wealth creator strategy is the intelligent use of limited resources to go from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest possible time with the least amount of risk. Risk is when you do not understand what you're doing. If you buy a property and you do not know how to use it as an investment instrument and how to capitalize on that in order to get the growth that you need in order to become financially free, that is a risk. And that's the only risk. And the only way to offset risk is to understand that you do not know what you're supposed to know. Because the moment that you know what you're supposed to know, you're not going to fall into this trap that everyone else is doing. And that simply means that every property must be judged by what it actually is doing. Not by how it looks, not by what other people tell you it is, not what they think, not what the estate agent tell you, not by emotional comfort of, well, I've got a property or I've got 3 or 10 or 15 properties. The only thing that matters is the performance. And this is also where the IGR must be bigger than the FFGR. Why this is so important. So the real question is not, do I own property? The real question is this property producing enough investment growth rate based on my investment instrument that I've got? My investment growth rate is your IGR. Is that actually greater than my financial freedom growth rate? This that I need in order to be financially free in, let's say, 5 or 10 or 15 years. If not, then that property may still be too weak to get me to where I want to go. And therefore, I'm not going to get that property. That's the line in the sand. My IGR must be bigger than my FFGR. If it's not, I walk away from that deal. And once you understand that, you stop glorifying ownership for its own sake. You stop assuming that more is better. You stop mistaking activity for progress. And you start thinking like a real wealth creator. So a wealth creator understands that more units does not automatically means more freedom. More debt does not automatically means more leverage in the good sense. I see there's a lot of people that say they want to refinance a property to get more debt, to get more property, to get more growth. It's nonsense. If that does not give you the growth that you need, it simply means that you've got more risk. More property does not automatically means more wealth. Just because you've got 2 properties and 10 times more risk, it's not going to help you, because the issue is never just the asset. The issue is the quality of the strategy behind the asset. That is why it's property as an investment instrument. You need to know what and how to structure that instrument to give you the maximum growth possible for the amount of money that you're going to invest in that. And that is why some people can own multiple properties and still feel stuck. Still pressured, still cash-strapped, still dependent, still waiting, still having to work harder in order to pump more money into those properties. It's not because property is bad, my friend, but because property without the right strategy can become a very, very expensive distraction. That is our truth that very few people want to understand. And that is also why this lesson matters emotionally. Because many sincere people think that they are doing the right thing. They are trying, they are sacrificing, they are buying, they are carrying the risk, they are taking the action. And yet they may still feel trapped within this weak model. The problem is they don't know that. And that, I think, is heartbreaking. Because very often they blame themselves instead of simply questioning the strategy. But the strategy matters. And that is why wealth creators must learn to ask better questions. Not, how do I get more properties? But how do I build more freedom? Perhaps from this that I've already got. How do I improve the instrument, the way that I'm using this financial instrument? How do I create the real growth rate that I need, my IGR, to be bigger than my FFGR that I need? How do I use property intelligently instead of emotionally? That is the mindset shift. And once that shift happens, you stop chasing accumulation for its own sake. You start pursuing performance. You start treating property as a tool. You start measuring whether or not it's actually helping you to move closer to freedom. And that is a real lesson for this week. So more property is not automatically the answer. a better strategy is. And until a person understands that, they can spend years building a portfolio that looks bigger on paper, but moves far too slow in real life to give them that they want. And I assume that is freedom. That was, at least in my situation, the case. So if this lesson resonates with you, and you want to understand how wealth creators apply principles like this in the real world, through property, through business, through investment, through leverage, through strategic growth, through creating investment instruments, then attend the Property Accelerator Masterclass. That is where I begin unpacking how serious wealth creators think, measure, and structure opportunities differently. This is Hannes de Reyes signing off. Until next time, think smarter, act bolder, and live free.